Hello and welcome. So a lot of information came through today about the grid work that we'll be doing in Egypt in November of 2025, this year. If you're listening to it this year, before the trip commences. Can I just say, it is a big shift. As I'm recording this, as I'm feeling into it, it is April of 2025, and this shift feels like humanity has crossed the threshold that a lot of people have been talking about. When we reach that threshold, there's no turning back. It's like the path is set. The golden timelines have all merged, have all converged, and now we are simply experiencing it unfold. It is very weird to say it because energetically it feels like all is done, but yet somehow the work is being done or has not yet been done in the physical. So the physical realm is kind of like playing catch up to the energetic realm, or, well, not really playing catch up, basically just a lag time that we are experiencing it, but everything is already done. So even though it is already done in the energetic realm, which energy always comes first, and then the physical will catch up, it feels like we're still making the decision. It feels like we're still at a choice point, but really it's already done. But that doesn't mean that we sit back, relax, and not care. This knowing that it is already done gives us the full trust and the full faith that whatever unfolds, it's for the greatest and highest good. And if you're meant to go somewhere, if you're meant to do something, it will happen anyway. Even if at this point you choose to ignore it, it will come in other ways. So I wanted to come on here to share a little bit more about the themes that are coming up, the messages that have been coming up in my awareness, in my field, for the trip in Egypt in November. What came to me in the beginning, me and my friend who will be doing this together, bringing two of our communities together, we knew from the get-go that it was a mixed gender trip. So the past two trips, what she has done, what I've done in March, were feminine trips. After all that has unfolded through Egypt, through Greece, that those were preparation for what's to come. And I've said it in multiple videos that the theme is about convergence, it's about harmonizing, but it is not just about harmonizing the feminine and masculine. That's just a theme, that's just part of the duality coming into non-duality, coming into unity. There is so much more to this. And like I said in the previous video, or in one of those videos that you would have seen, now where I am at right now and experiencing all of this is the bridging of what we've done before, still continuing to do, and what's to come. So in the background, there are a lot of energetic layers coming up around restoring the crystalline heart, restoring the grid. I think I mentioned before that in Egypt, I woke up to a download of information that just would not leave my brain. Usually when I wake up and if I dreamt of something, or if there was something that came to me and it's just not important, I wouldn't even remember a single thing. I don't remember my dreams. But that, I remember word for word, which was activating underground network of Ascension templates and the Ascension descension loop, and then a bunch of stuff coming up around time manipulation, and that we are in a time manipulation, and there's this whole cycle that can be broken, and we don't have to keep going back to suffering and then enlightenment, suffering, enlightenment. Like, that is in itself a time seal that we are shattering, that we're breaking. So there is a lot of layers around the Ascension templates that are coming through, and also convergence, harmonizing, unifying what? The polar opposites of solar, lunar, darkness, light, feminine, masculine, head, heart, yin, yang, and most importantly is the convergence of all the golden timelines, of all New Earth templates that each of us individually in our own vessels and in containers, in group containers, everybody doing the light work, everybody doing the grid work that we have downloaded, that we have in our vessel, in our essence. We're exchanging that and we're converging, unifying all of that to anchor in this golden timeline of Earth, of humanity, the New Earth templates. I was guided to do this golden timeline thing. I think it was the end of 2023. That was the first Shambhala golden timeline that came through. And then the message was that I am assisting to download the codes of golden timeline of Shambhala, of Atlantis, of Lemuria, of Avalon, and obviously there are a bunch of others that others are responsible for. These were the 4 that came to me, and I have a whole series on that. So if you feel called to receive those codes, it's a living transmission. So when you're on there, you don't just receive the codes, but you actually transmit what you have to give as well. So I feel like it's kind of alive, and everything is still being added in, still being received, still being transmitted. So back to this whole New Earth thing. It is not just the new codes that are coming through. In this first video that I made about the update of this grid work, I particularly said that we cannot just disregard the old Earth. Like, that is not it. Because as we see from the ancient civilizations, they feel like they come from the future. And there's so much wisdom, there's so much teachings and knowledge from these civilizations that we are here to remember, we are here to access once again. And I'll talk about Codex. I'm coming to it. There's so much, I'm coming to it. There's so much ancient wisdom that we are here to remember, that our ancestors, that the ancient wisdom keepers, the timekeepers are here to assist. Like, I feel them so much. They've been coming to me, but they haven't been saying anything, but they're just there hanging out. And they're ready when we are ready. So what I see is us as a vessel, we are doing our thing, harmonizing the earth wisdom, the ancient codes that are stored on the land, in the sea, into our bodies, into our vessel. And as a cosmic channel as well, we receive the Galactic Codes, we receive these new codes that are almost never here on Earth before. So they're new galactic cosmic codes. We receive them, and these two energies, they converge in our solar plexus, in our heart space, in our high heart space, and not just that, but in our whole body, in our whole vessel is a harmonization that is happening. So it's two forces that are in seemingly opposing directions, that usually when we say ground into earth, we are dropping in, and it's very downward energy, and then the cosmos is like very upward energy, right? We receive. However, there's the beauty of it that I now know why I needed to go through the Hatha Yoga teacher training, which it blows my mind to even understand right now how all of this are assisting me to understand energy. how to access energy and how to direct energy. When we learn how to direct these two energies that are seemingly diverging, and we bring it into convergence within our navel center, then what happens is that these opposing force comes together and it releases like an energy. It creates what I term it as the energetic explosion, that creates a spark that brings on the inner fire. And that fire, that spark, is the fire that burns away all your karmic bondages, that burns away everything that is holding you back from your truth. When that clears away, that's when you can remember who you truly are and what you came here to do, and live your life according to your dharma. Dharma is not always an easy path, because I probably shared this many times before, that people might not understand why you need to do a certain thing, why you make certain decisions in your life. So there is a divine remembrance happening on a collective scale. Humanity is remembering. And what I mean by convergence is also the convergence of exactly the ancient codes and the galactic codes, the new codes, coming together in our vessel to create or to birth or to unlock the new earth templates. Now it's very clear that this trip is not just a divine feminine, divine masculine thing. Like, that's just surface level. In the background, there is so much other stuff happening. And now I can talk about the Codex, code seals, time seals. That's something that was coming through in the trip in March as well. A couple of us were tapping into these seals. Codex is basically like a code that is sealed, in my understanding, as of now. Maybe it will change in the future, but that's how I understand it now. A codex is a code or a certain information that has been sealed energetically. In ancient times, the ancient civilizations, for example, let's just talk about one, Atlantean civilization. These ancient civilizations, they knew, they could maybe calculate, or they felt, or they sensed, or they could see that there would come a time where humanity would fall. And because of that, a lot of these very powerful knowledge of how to use energy, how to direct energy, how to manipulate energy to move big things, to build big structures, crystal technology. All these things would be dangerous if humans were to use it for themselves, for their own self-interest, and not care about the interest of the greater good, or the safety, or the longevity of a certain race, not just humans, even interplanetary. These high priests or priestesses, or very, I would say, of high level council, they came together to seal these information with their soul essence. It kind of feels like this whole drama thing happening. Sometimes I joke with my friends and I'm like, all this information, we could probably write a novel or create a book, and it's gonna be, or like a game, like a role-playing game, and it's gonna be like a hit. Sometimes we gotta joke when things are that serious. That's life, right? Life is about joy. That was what came through when I was channeling the information for this trip as well. There's a specific temple, the Luxor temple, the Temple of Joy. And I asked, okay, what do we have to do there? Is there something we have to do there? And they said, oh, nothing. just go and laugh and just play around. Remember the joy, because joy is the key to life. So that's that. Goddess Isis, Goddess Hathor, and God Thoth are the council of guidance for this trip, and well, these energies are very powerful to say the least. Okay, coming back to the Codex thing, before I forget what I intended to say, which happens all the time. If you've spoken to me before, you know that I always go on a tangent and then I forget and I come back, but somehow things that are meant to be said, meant to be shared, will always be shared in divine timing and alignment and opportunity. So the Codex, a lot of these high priestesses, high priest, council of that time came together to seal these information with their soul essence. And time might be a parameter to unlock this seal as well. So in order to unlock this codex, it's like a packet of information, if you see it that way. Like a file on your computer that you need to open the zip file and there's a password. That password is the essence or the energetic signature of the people who have sealed that information, and perhaps also the energy of the land. Perhaps time might be a component. All of this it depends. But it is a very specific code or energetic signature to access and unlock this file, to unlock this codex. Which is why when you are specifically called to a place or to meet someone or to be in a specific container or community, it is so important at this time now to listen to this guidance, because it means that it's actually not just for you, it's for humanity, it's for the planet, and it extends beyond. It's for the galaxy. This word it's not even enough to talk about the scale of this thing. It extends beyond. It just extends beyond humans and Earth as a planet. It is more than that. Which brings me to the importance of this trip whereby two communities would come together. At first, when I received this message that we had to bring our own individual communities, 11 of us each in each of our communities, journeying through the 1111 portal, and the whole experience culminating on the 11th of November in the Great Pyramid, the convergence happening, the harmonization happening, the exchange of codes happening. At first, I was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, communities need to come together, we need to meet each other, we need to unite, what's new? But now, I finally understand why. Because there could be someone in her community, someone in my community, that need to meet and come into union, because their energy, when united, is the password for specific codes. So what I received very specifically is this is happening obviously throughout the trip, but Konark Temple in particular, I've always felt that it's something got to do with Atlantis, and a lot of Atlantean codes, teachings, knowledge are sealed in there. So when we go there, we don't even need to do anything. Just our presence that's there will unlock these codes. And everybody is going to receive different things, because we're kind of like, my friend called it probes. So we're kind of like probes. We go there and we collect information, and then, you know, we upload to the data center, to the Galactic High Council of Light. So we are all receiving codes, we are all holders of these codes, we are all keys to these codes. And not just us individually, but the coming together of us as a group and individuals within these two communities will be able to access that. So there's going to be a receiving and also the exchange of codes when we share, when we have dinner together, when we interact with each other. Those are the exchange of information happening through spoken words and also through presence. So it's going to be a fun trip. And the last thing that was coming up that I thought was also very interesting, it's not really a new information, but there's just more details coming up for this trip, is about the Sphinx. I've always known and received the message that it is a guardian for the pyramid, the Great Pyramid in particular, but obviously all the three pyramids, and not just the pyramids, but the underground complex. There's a lot of information there that is not physically there. It is in the energetic, it's in another dimension. So excavators obviously won't be able to find much from it, much interesting things from it. Maybe they find a couple of ruins here and there, but not the essence of what it is stored there. The Sphinx, when we're there, it's actually scanning us. So it's scanning us because it's the guardian. It's like the guardian or the gatekeepers to these information. Scanning us, and it will give us access individually. Okay, you have access to this file, and you have access to this file. And so when we have access, then we can download the information, and they said the information particularly in the halls of records and the emerald tablets. So we receive that. Everybody's going to receive different stuff. And then in the pyramid, we're also receiving and uploading stuff. So these things also give us access on what we can receive from the Great Pyramid and what we can upload to the Galactic Council of Light or the database somewhere. We don't upload everything. We also don't receive everything. That was what I got. Some codes are not yet ready to be uploaded, which is why we don't upload everything at that moment. The harmonization and convergence also happens in the pyramid. On the 11 of 11, 11 people from each community is coming together in the pyramid. Information exchanged there. Whatever we're gonna do there, that depends on what messages comes through. Whatever we're gonna do there is going to be a harmonization of everything that happened. The convergence of everything that happened within the Great Pyramid will assist us, support the energies to converge what needs to be converged, to merge what needs to be merged, to download what needs to be downloaded, exchange what needs to be exchanged, and upload what needs to be uploaded. So it's all very very cryptic, like a movie, like a sci-fi movie. Sometimes I don't even believe what's coming through, and I'm like, I'll take this with a pinch of salt, but I know that, you know, people need to go there and that people experience something there, even if they don't have words to explain it yet. But like I said in the beginning of the video, which is a nice closure, everything happens in the energetic realms first, and then the physical reality experience catches up. With that, I believe there will be a channeling coming up. Something feels like it wants to come through, not now, but maybe in the next video. A message for those who are being called to come. So look out for that. If you would like more information about this trip, the link is in the description box down below. Please only apply if you feel called to it. Not everybody will be. And I would say that this journey is not for everybody, because Egypt is, as much as I want everybody to go to Egypt, because it's such a, the monuments are just crazy, you know, just being there and coming to Greece and seeing the monuments here, I'm like, now I can finally understand how epic whatever I've seen in Egypt was. So, however, the land is very potent. And I know that some people, it's not that they're not allowed to go in, everybody is allowed. Some people's energetic makeup cannot be there physically. They can do proxy grid work, meaning astral travel or visualization. That is equally as powerful, especially for very sensitive, highly sensitive beings. It might not be the best thing for them to be on the land, because it's like you're being bombarded with all of this energy, and it takes a lot of groundedness to be able to move through this journey. I don't see this as a tour. Yes, we're gonna have fun. Yes, we're gonna learn about history. Yes, we have the buses to bring us around and we'll be well taken care of. However, as I mentioned, and as you have heard, there is a lot of layers of this going on in the background, whether you understand it or not, whether it's conscious or subconscious. Don't expect this trip to be easy, because a lot of private visits are happening. And yes, private visits are amazing. We have the whole temple to ourselves, but it means that it has to be outside opening hours. So a lot of these visits are in the wee hours, 3 a.m., which means we have to wake up at 1 a.m., take the bus at 2 a.m., and reach the site by 3 a.m. And some of them are very far, so we got to travel. A lot of traveling, which means that your grounding work is very important, to be as grounded as possible. Have the awareness that you're not really here to play, even though fun is a part of it. But I just don't want anybody coming and expecting like, oh, you know, this is, I'm not scaring you away, but I'm just putting this out there because I know people will appreciate that I'm not sugarcoating the journey, and that yes, this is the truth, and then you can decide and feel into whether this is something that will be for you, physically and energetically. So if you have any questions at all about this trip, whether it's the physical demand of this trip, whether it's physically demanding, how much sleep you're gonna have, how does it feel like in general energetically after the trip as well. There's a lot of integration happening, so let me know, send me an email and I will address that before you apply. So yeah, that's it, and I look forward to channeling what wants to come through for this trip in another video, and I'll see you then.